Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for requesting this private session that Emily and I are going to do. And it's going to be something that's applicable to everyone. So I think we determined that we are going to tap today on the way that uncertainty shows up and the other feelings that that can trigger for us. Does that sound like a good place to dial in, Emily?
Absolutely.
Cool. So, what we're going to be creating here is just a single round of EFT tapping addressing that. And we were talking a little bit beforehand about all the ways this comes up as feelings of not enoughness, or when we go to do different activities, let's say posting on social media or carrying out business activities, maybe interacting with a future client, or just all those goal oriented activities, but this also shows up in parenting and in marriage and all sorts of other places where taking those next steps and being uncertain about the outcomes can sometimes put us in a state of fight or flight or freeze.
Mhm.
And we'd like to be more mobilized. So, with that in mind, what kind of things are feeling like on a personal level a little uncertain for you right now, Emily?
So we are expecting our third in October, which, first of all, for us is harvest season. We live on a farm in West Central Illinois. So, harvest October is go time. And I have never had a baby in that season. So, there's definitely a little uncertainty on what that's going to look like, not only in my business, but for our family and just that whole dynamic. My older two kids are 6 and 4. Again, this was not on our 2023 or ever bingo card. So there's some uncertainty in we thought we were done with this season, and we are very grateful, very excited for this blessing. But I'm in a different career and operating in a business now. And so what impact is this new family dynamic going to have on the goals that I have and this really beautiful blend of work and family that we've already created?
Yeah, cool. Well, let's weave that into this. But for those of you who are not expecting a baby right now, or that's not your place of uncertainty, then please feel free to personalize this. Sometimes it helps to tap along with this round, hear what's happening, and then do it again, interjecting your own adjustments and personalizations. But my main goal is to help you get a little bit of a shift around this uncertainty, Emily. So when you think about those worries. What's coming in October? And I know you're so excited about so much of it and feeling really aligned and great about it, but those things
Hmm.
that do feel negative right now,
Hmm.
how do you feel like you land on a scale of 0 where there's like no issues, no worries, and 10 where there's a lot?
Mm. I feel like right now I'm somewhere in the middle, maybe around a 5, but I
Sure.
also we are kind of in our slower season. We haven't started planting yet. So I anticipate the closer we get to this season, my anxiety is going to rise around it, along with, my husband and my father in law, who right now are saying, it'll be fine. We'll make it all work. It's going to be great. But I also know how heightened emotions get in the moment when we have to get corn out of the ground and we're relying on the weather for who knows what. And so I would say right now I'm sitting at about a 5, just knowing how far out it is, but I anticipate that potentially growing as we
Hmm.
get closer to fall.
That's something to work on. Because what if it doesn't have to grow?
Right. Right.
Yeah. All right. So I've written that 5 down for you. The number's always just a starting point. Five's kind of fun because it could go up, it could go down. We've got room either way.
Right.
But
Right. The more we talk about this, the more anxious I might get.
yeah, all I really ever see is the number go down. So that's what we're looking for. So for those of you at home listening to this recording, just tap along with us. And I'm just going to have you repeat after me, Emily. Also realizing that if I say something that you're like, no, that's not how I'm feeling, please feel free to change it. I can only do so much to step into your energy and the way that you're feeling. And I want
Mhm.
this to be relevant to you so that you do feel a shift
Yeah.
at the end of it. So we're just going to start on the side of the hand, just tapping gently. And I just want you to take a nice deep inhale through your nose, hold it for a moment, and then exhale out through your mouth. And put your attention on the things that are feeling like they could get you anxious or overwhelmed, the things that feel like they're kind of coming down the pike in another, gosh, what is that, like 6 months? Um, 5 months? I don't even know. I can't math. But yeah, those things that feel like they're coming, put your attention there and kind of keep that in the forefront of your mind as we do this tapping. I'm just going to have you repeat after me. Even though I have lots of anticipated anxiety about this fall,
Even though I have a lot of anticipated anxiety about this fall,
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though there is a whole new dynamic coming into my world,
Even though there is a whole new dynamic coming into my world,
and it feels pretty uncertain.
and it feels pretty uncertain.
I've never managed 3 kids before,
I have never managed 3 kids before.
and I don't know what it's going to be like.
I don't know what it's going to be like.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
And even though I don't know what my career is going to look like through the lens of having 3 children,
Even though I don't know what the lens of my career is going to look like through 3 children. I think I said that backwards.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm open to the idea that I can love and accept myself anyway.
I'm open to the idea that I can love and accept myself anyway.
Feel free to open your eyes so that you can travel along with me on these other points that'll be less familiar. We're going to go to the top of the head. Sometimes I get worried that I'm not going to be enough,
Sometimes I get worried that I'm not going to be enough,
especially when something is completely unfamiliar.
especially when something is completely unfamiliar.
Having a baby in the middle of harvest season is really unfamiliar.
Having a baby in the middle of harvest is really unfamiliar.
I don't know how we're going to do it all.
I don't know how we're going to do it all.
And I really am anticipating that I'm going to be a lot more anxious as it gets closer.
I am really anticipating I'm going to be a lot more anxious as it gets closer.
So even though I feel pretty calm and chill about it now, I'm worried about what's coming.
I'm worried about what's coming.
And how I'm going to navigate it all.
And how I'm going to navigate it all.
How it's going to affect my marriage.
How it's going to affect my marriage.
How it's going to affect the parenting of my other kids.
How it's going to affect the parenting of my other kids.
And how I'm going to feel as a business owner.
Oh, and how I'm going to feel as a business owner.
Does that one hit extra hard?
Yeah. Not even necessarily in like the immediate months following, but in what comes like in the new year.
Okay. I've got 2 kids now and I'm adding 3. Adding 1, that makes 3. Sorry, I told you I can't math.
Wow, my appointment isn't until Monday. Now I'm freaking out. You're telling me it's going to be triplets? This is going to be a whole different conversation.
I told you I can't math. I have 2 kids now and I'm adding another.
I have 2 kids now and I'm adding another.
Which feels a lot like 3 balls to juggle.
Which feels a lot like 3 balls to juggle.
And juggling is uncertain and seems kind of unsafe.
Juggling is uncertain and feels very unsafe.
Feels like there's more room to drop something.
I feel like there's more room to drop something.
Or to get behind or make a mistake.
Or to get behind and make mistakes.
Which means more room to feel like I'm not enough.
Which means more room to feel like I'm not enough. Man, I do feel more anxious now.
And that just brings on the anxiety.
Yeah, it brings on more anxiety.
I'm open to the idea that I don't need to experience more anxiety to get through this season.
I'm open to the idea that I don't need to experience more anxiety to get through this season.
I feel so much peace and calm in my life presently.
I feel so much peace and calm in my life presently.
And I feel like I know how to get a handle on keeping myself in that space.
I feel like I know how to get a handle on keeping myself in this space.
And it feels really good to be in a place of being peaceful and calm.
It feels really good to be in a place of peace and calm.
And even if the corn is ready to be harvested,
And even if the corn is ready to be harvested,
I think I can stay calm through this season
I think that I can stay calm through this season
and really enjoy the expansion
and really enjoy the expansion
of my family,
of my family,
of this new dynamic,
of this new dynamic,
of my business.
of my business.
Sure, I might need to slow down a little bit.
Sure, I might need to slow down a little bit.
I might need to shift my focus around from week to week.
I might need to shift my focus around from week to week.
It's going to be different and unfamiliar.
It's going to be different and unfamiliar.
But I really think I can handle it.
But I really think I can handle it.
I've done so much work to get to this place.
I have done so much work to get to this place.
And I feel really ready for it.
And I feel really ready for it.
And just because I typically associate anxiety with the harvest season,
And just because I typically associate anxiety with harvest
doesn't mean I can't have a different narrative.
doesn't mean that I can't have a different narrative.
Doesn't mean that I can't feel a different way.
Doesn't mean that I can't feel a different way.
And I'm definitely looking forward to bringing a baby into a calm environment.
I'm looking forward to bringing a baby into a calm environment
And seeing what happens from there.
and seeing what happens from there.
As I embrace the expansion of all of the things I want to bring into my life.
As I embrace the expansion of all the things I want to bring into our life.
Even unexpected babies.
Even unexpected babies.
Sides of the fingers. With love.
With love.
Acceptance.
Acceptance.
Middle finger tolerance.
Tolerance.
Skip to the pinky. And understanding.
And understanding.
Back of the hand. I call my power back into my body.
I call my power back into my body.
I am whole, complete, and powerful.
I am whole, complete, and powerful.
And capable of navigating this situation with so much grace and love.
And capable of navigating this situation with so much grace and love.
All right. Take a nice deep breath, Emily. Feel free to stretch or yawn or whatever feels right to you in the moment. I mean, you feel great because you're not having 3 more kids right now, and that was just like what I threw in there just so that you'd be like, oh, this really worked, because I was really stressed out there for a minute. How are you feeling? What kind of aha moments came up for you, or what happened as you were doing that for you?
I feel calm. Yeah, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and I think that we have proven to ourselves time and time again that whatever hard things come at us, we've always made it through. And I really do feel like I'm in a good place after what I've been through over the past 6 months to be able to uniquely handle the situation in ways that previous versions of me would have drowned in it. So I feel good.
Yeah. So this is a great example of how to use tapping to kind of take care of something in the moment. But this is also something that doesn't always show up right away. So this might, I don't know, but what do you feel now? You were a 5 before. Where do you feel like you are now?
Less than that. I don't know. I don't know if I can put a number on it.
Okay. It's decreased.
Maybe
That's
3 or
fine.
4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So like if I was working with you as a client, it'd be kind of like, well, what makes up that three or four? And we'd be kind of digging in there to see what's
Mhm.
left and to go after
Mhm.
that, to get to that root cause. Um, but there's a lot of aha moments and things that come up after a round of tapping. And an
Mm.
example like we did today isn't, sometimes it's not as powerful as something like, if we were working on a physical ailment or something and you definitely felt better and different in the moment. This is kind of
Mhm.
like layers, and
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little bit more subtle, but still like things are happening under the surface. So I always say to kind of tune in, be conscious and aware of what you notice over the next few days, because you might get some
Mhm.
little pings, little
Yeah.
continuing aha moments that come to you. And also, it's really important to hydrate when you do this work because the
Mm.
energy needs that water to move and do its thing. So, yes, definitely stay hydrated. And did you have any other questions or revelations or things that you wanted to share?
Mm. No, that was really helpful. I can see how that could be transferable to so many other situations. I love the rhythm of like saying the worst case scenario or the biggest stressful anxiety feeling out loud, and then kind of slowly getting to a place of neutrality, and then to a place of um positivity, or kind of like what the best case
Yeah.
scenario, that side of it, looks like. I love
Yeah.
I love that rhythm of acknowledging where you're at. Like we said in our interview, kind of like that toxic positivity or the affirmations that don't feel true.
Yeah.
So like really acknowledging for what it is and seeing yourself where you're at, to more of a neutral place to more of like best case scenario place.
Yeah, I
I
think
love
this will
the
probably help
rhythm.
you more to do something like this as you get closer and you may experience more of that anxiety. It was kind of an odd example in a lot of ways because it's like you're feeling good, and I think we kind of made you feel worse to make you feel better,
Yeah, for a
which
second I was like,
which was
oh
which was
shoot.
not the goal and never really is. This is kind of a bizarre example to work on, but I think the end result is still you got it.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, when you're actually feeling that anxiety and we're not taking you to a
Mhm.
place of feeling that anxiety when you're not feeling it, I think
Mhm.
that can be a more effective way to see how much you can shift it and
Yeah.
change it on your own. So
Yeah. But I think that's
thank you
also
guys
really
for,
indicative of a lot of the experiences we go through. So often we create anxiety around something in the future that may or may not turn out the way that we're anxious about in the first place. So
yeah,
I think it is fairly transferable to the way we create the story around whatever it might be that in reality like may or may not be that anxiety inducing in the moment to begin with.
yeah.
So
For sure. Well, thank you for doing that with me. I appreciate
thank
it.
you.
And
Thank you.
thank you all for tapping along with us and requesting this resource. And I always love to hear from people. So if you've tapped along and you've, gotten something out of the experience or you have questions, feel free to email me, Theresa at teresalearlevine.com. If you want to hear from people, feel free to share your email, Emily.
Yeah. Yeah. EmilyReuschel.com, EMILYREUSCHEL .com is my website. EmilyReuschel at gmail.com would be my email. And you can find me on social at Emily Reuschel.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.